Well, happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. 2022. It's been 2 years. 2 years of this YouTube stuff. We started doing these with the YouTube channel and this iPhone 11. St. Patrick's Day 2020. So hope everything's going well with you. I'm not in Central Washington. I'm in the Phoenix, Arizona area, and specifically I'm in an area called Scottsdale, Arizona, where my mom is living half the year. She winters here in Scottsdale and then back to Wisconsin in the old house that I grew up in for the rest of the year. So, visiting mom, final exams have been turned in, spring break down here by myself for the first couple of days, and then Liz is finishing up her week at the high school and will be joining me this weekend. And we will spend much of next week as well down here in Arizona. I'm not sure how much more I will film, but thought that I would just basically say hi, but also to kind of test out my abilities to do this without my home computer, without my tried and true white car from Central. So basically, not sure I packed everything that I needed to make this happen, including filming, but also editing. So anyway, I'm in an area that I am unaware of. I found this natural area with these beautiful saguaro cactus. And there's some geology here as well. Are these jumping cholla? Possibly. But that's the end of my botany impersonation. And it's an impersonation. You're like, okay, well, at least you can tell me about the rocks. Well, I don't know, can I? I can show you some of the rocks. But I don't know anything about Arizona geology. I have been admiring these quartz veins, pieces of milky quartz that are plentiful here. Maybe I'll walk up to this top area here with another big saguaro cactus, and maybe we can look at some bedrock that's in place to kind of finish this up. But otherwise, I just thought I'd just check in. And of course, ramble a little bit. I think some of the rambling does not work for some of you. You just want geology facts and everything. Well, I don't know, man. I'm not in Central Washington. I got nothing to say, really. So this is a rambling video, but also a chance for you to experience a little bit of this natural habitat in Central Arizona. I think it's about 75 degrees, 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that. My mom's at exercise class, and she said we had breakfast this morning in her little apartment, and she said, well, I suppose you're going to be out here filming, huh? And I'm like, well, I hadn't planned on it, but actually that's a good idea. Let me see if I can find some interesting stuff. So that's about 20 minutes from her place. So I'll try. I haven't done the first bit of reading. Don't even know the name of this mountain range. Can't even remember the name of this preserve. Although if you're very curious about this, in keeping with my theme lately, I'll look up the GPS location of the parking lot. And it's a very popular place this morning. I think everybody's on spring break. So 10 o'clock on a Thursday morning, the place is already packed with people. And you're like, wow, where are all the people? Well, they're on the trails, but I just couldn't handle the chatter. Sorry. I'm used to being solo, so I'm used to providing my own chatter. So I'm just exploring the geology and the botany and being as respectful as I can. All right, yeah, we do have some outcrop. So this looks kind of meta-sedimentary to me. Quite altered, quite weathered. I didn't bring a hammer. I'm not sure our hammers are even encouraged here, so I don't want to make anybody real upset if anybody notices. But let's get up here on, gee, I don't even really know what to call this. Lots of quartz veins. Let me stop and give you a few hand samples. Again, a lot of these quartz veins, which I interpret as being veins of quartz running through this, let's just call it metamorphic rock. You're like, holy cow, this guy can't even do a little reading before he hits record? Of course not. This is all impulsive. This is all what I've been doing lately. This looks like a plutonic igneous rock that's been slightly metamorphosed. Yeah, this is really unprofessional. You know, this is a nice community we have, and I suppose a few of you might be able to put a couple links down below and educate us all about the geology here at blankety blank preserve. So there is some foliation, so I don't want to call this a pluton. There's some bedding here, and I think I see a slight foliation, meaning the metamorphic rock is kind of banded slightly. And again, I don't have anything to break open the rock with, but you can see that it's rare to get a good look at the fresh surfaces on these. Most of these have been weathered. There's a weathered surface here that's quite pervasive, and therefore difficult to really get down to brass tacks about what this stuff is. Let me swing around over here. Practicing using 4K, practicing to keep my camera with a slow movement instead of a super fast one. And I think there needs to be a combination of those sorts of things. But I've heard from many of you saying, I like the video quality, but you're screwing around so much, you're spinning around so much, I can't really see what you're filming. And I kind of agree with you when I look at the replay. So it's a conscious thing. Yeah, again, almost it's like you and I are out here hiking together and we're just trying to decipher some basic things. There's sometimes when I'm hiking with Liz, she'll ask a couple things, as I will of her for the biology, but she'll say, so what kind of rock is this? And I'll go, well, I don't know, dear, but you know, we have this erosional pattern where either this is an intense fracture set through something that's igneous, or that real platy structure here is a result of some. Okay, now I'm starting to wonder. I got some fresh stuff here. All right, close your ears. Still can't get much of a fresh look right on that corner. So this appears to be a pluton. Okay, well maybe this is a pluton with some rather intense fractures. And maybe you're like, I don't know. I don't think the geology is the star of the show here, is it? And I think you're right. I think the star of the show are these cacti. I'm at about the 10-minute mark. Let's just keep wandering. I'll make this one about 15. How about that? And then I promise I'll go back to the trail and be a good civilian. would call this ugly rock. Sorry if that's offensive to you. And I have memories of being in the desert with certain field courses, and it's a lot of this. A lot of altered, weathered, poorly exposed. And you're supposed to make a geologic map? What the heck? There's hardly any in-place bedrock to work with, you say. And then when I do have in-place bedrock, I can't even figure out if there's layering or if there's fractures or... So, you know, over the winter we had a lot of visits with guests. Some kind of faint trail here, maybe I'll follow this back. And a lot of the guests kind of make it sound easy, you know, and they're just like, oh, well, you know, we mapped this and we sampled this and we've got this date. And but when you get out here in the real world, boy, it's challenging. It's exciting, it's stimulating, it smells great, the whole thing, but it's very rare to find very straightforward, simple geologic relations that just hit you over the head. I think this is my first time really thinking about geology of Arizona, you know, except for the Grand Canyon and being there a few times. Other than that, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, have I really carefully looked at the geology of Arizona? No. So why am I the guy doing a geology video from Arizona? Well, I think you know the answer to that. Sometimes I do these little videos and it gets me interested in a topic. And then I dig a little deeper. Who knows, I might be I might be here a lot. I don't know. Probably not. I love the Pacific Northwest. I think I'll finish my little commentary with this. First of all, I hope you just realize this is just a hello from Arizona video, basically. I think the last thing I'll say is it's common for people to say, boy, I sure wish you, like everything you're doing is Washington, everything you're doing is Pacific Northwest. They're talking to me now, whether it's a comment on a YouTube video or an email or whatever. And they say, I wish you would expand. I wish you would do something for like Wyoming, or why don't you come to upstate New York and do videos there? And some are even a little bit more specific than that. Oh, we're going to finish over by these tall saguaro over here, which I suppose is back at the main trail. They say, why don't you go nationwide? Basically, I don't think they're joking. Like, why don't you do some TV show nationwide? And I say, well, thank you. I think you're giving me a compliment there, and that's very nice. But my knowledge drops precipitously once I leave the Pacific Northwest. And there's so much in the Pacific Northwest, as I think that you've been getting a sense of in the last couple of years, that I'm totally content just sticking in the Northwest within a day or two drive of home and continuing to do what I can there. And to be honest, I could just stay in the North Cascades the rest of my days and have an unlimited supply of content. So, you know, coming out here and doing some of this with you in Arizona, just in real time, I'm realizing that it would be a huge undertaking to start from scratch and start making geologic programs so far away from home. Now, maybe I'll change my tune at some point, but for now, it's exciting to be in a new set of places, as I think we all experience when we go on spring break field trips, for instance. I mean, it's just nice to have a change of scenery. But the part where I get on camera and have all sorts of authority and say, welcome to, and here's the exact information that is very important. I don't know. Doesn't sound like something I'd like to do. Plus, I'd be stepping on the toes of people who know this area well and have all the geology in their mind. I don't know. Just sharing some thoughts out loud. But I do hear that a fair amount. And this is the first video where I'm a few states away from home and just basically testing to see if I can even do this with a laptop and an iPhone. Hell, did I even bring the right chargers to recharge the gizmo? I don't know. So we'll see. So who knows? Maybe there'll be more from Arizona in the next week and a half. Maybe this will be it. Thank you. I love you, and goodbye.